Hey y'all, welcome back to Come Home with Jennah. I am Jennah Sears, your absolute favorite Texas realtor. And today I am so excited about what we have in store for you. If you are looking to buy and have never purchased before, or if you're looking to buy and haven't purchased in a while, this is for you. So we have Editor Michaela here. I'm so excited. She's our first-time home buyer, and we're gonna jump right into it. We're going to review the docs that she'll need to work through at the beginning, the people that she'll need to make contact with and also work with during the process. And we're kind of just gonna go through what a typical first buyer meeting looks like. So Editor Michaela, are you ready?
I think so.
I love it.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
well, the first thing I do with any of my buyers is to kind of get a feel for how much they know, what they want to know, and what their goals are, and also location and time frame.
All right.
So why don't you start by telling me, are you currently renting?
Yes.
And then when is that lease up?
The lease is up in December. So I think December 4th. I was just looking at it last night. It's up December 4th.
Perfect.
Yes.
And when do you need to tell your apartment when you're leaving?
I definitely told them today.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
If you get in a pinch, are you able to go month by month?
I haven't talked to them about that. In a pinch, though, I also know that I have like my parents that I can go and stay with them if I have to.
Good, because that's always what we want to make sure of,
Gotcha.
especially with the market being like it is. You're probably going to be giving your seller a little bit of a lease back.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be very long, but it will probably be a few days.
Gotcha. So
So the typical first-time home buyer last year was 31% of the market. This year, the first-time home buyer is 34% of the market,
well,
which is really wild.
that is wild.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes. So what are you most excited about in purchasing your new home?
I'm excited to kind of have like my own control. Like right now, my renter or my landlord can kind of just come into my apartment whenever they feel like, and I'm not about that.
Yep.
And I'm excited to have a yard
Yes.
for my dog.
Okay, well, that's important. So we are looking for a traditional single-family home or maybe a townhome with some type of private outdoor space.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got to look for the dog too.
Yes.
Also, are you planning on house hacking or having a roommate to potentially help with part of that mortgage payment?
So I would say I am open to it,
Mhm.
but I'm not like in the process of like
Gotcha.
maybe later on. Right now, I'm just like, I just want to find a place to
Yes.
live.
Perfect. Okay, so I know you've already spoken with a lender, and we're going to do a whole nother show on what your lending process is going to look like, because tell our friends what special loan you qualify for.
So I am not retired, but I'm a veteran. I was in the Navy for 5 years. So I do qualify for the veteran home loan, which is pretty cool, as Jennah has told me.
Yes, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I love working with vets, and I also love working with the VA loan, because the goal of a VA loan is to make it as easy as possible for our servicemen and women to be able to get into homes.
Yeah.
The most important thing that you have to keep in mind in this VA loan is that you are eligible for 0% down,
Mhm.
which is massive.
Yeah.
So a typical FHA loan changes a little bit, but we like to see 3.5 to 5% down.
Okay.
You still could do that, but you don't have to.
Wow.
We just have to be careful that you're comfortable with the budget. So the more you put down, the less your mortgage is going to be.
Right.
So when you spoke with your lender, did they give you numbers, and did you kind of go through what that budget would look like, including not just the loan for the home, but also the taxes and the insurance?
A very little bit. We haven't gone like super deep into it. She was just like, I like qualified for what I qualified for. And then she was like, this is about what you'd pay if you stayed. We did it by Denton, because that's where I'm
Perfect.
at.
Yes.
Denton. I just said that
Denton.
super not Texan. So we did it by Denton taxes, which
Perfect.
yeah. So that's what
They have
I'm.
a pretty nice tax rate.
Yeah.
So if you do stay there,
It's pretty solid.
it's pretty solid.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. If you go a little further out or a little closer to the city, taxes are going to get a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So we always want to make sure with any of my home buyers that we're really focused on what that monthly cost is going to be for them, not necessarily the price of the home, although we do need to know that too, but are they comfortable with that payment and does it fit into their budget? And I never want you to feel so uncomfortable or push that budget too high because that's just not a great place to be in financially.
Right. Absolutely.
And some people will tell you to push it as far as you can. That's just not my general advice.
I think that's already fantastic to hear. Yes. as the person putting the money out there.
Exactly.
That's a great way
exactly.
to like help them.
Yes. So we know your budget and we also know the area that you want to be in. We've talked about how you have some needs for the house. You need a yard, some type of yard. Doesn't have to be a big yard, but big enough for a dog.
Right.
And then tell me what else? Bedrooms, bathrooms?
So honestly, like 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and I'd be happy. Like it doesn't have to be anything. Honestly, the yard is the only thing that I'm like, this is what I want. Good. And like I kind of want to have a garage or a carport. Okay. I know that Texas seems to redo garages as extra rooms.
Flippers tend to redo garages as extra rooms.
Drives me nuts.
Yes. As a woman, I also like having a garage. It just makes me feel a little bit safer.
Right. Yeah.
So I completely understand that. So we are going to look for a house with a yard. We're going to hopefully have a garage. Yeah. But if we can't find one, at least a carport.
Yeah.
And then 2-bed, 2-bath.
Yeah.
Now, do you care if it is 1-story, 2-story?
I don't have like a huge opinion on that. If I'm cool with 1-story. Like, I mean, that's no stairs is always great. Perfect. But if it has stairs, that's okay too.
Love it. The other thing I want to suggest, because you are a first-time homebuyer and I'm all about building financial freedom through your first home purchase, I want to make sure that whatever you are looking at could also potentially be used as a rental property.
Oh, okay.
So that doesn't mean that you have to use it as one ever. But the nice thing about this VA loan is you could live there, take advantage of that. Then you could refi into a conventional or an FHA loan when you're ready to move to your next property. And then you still, on the second property, could use those VA benefits.
Oh my gosh. And so wild.
Isn't it so great?
Yeah.
I love it. And then the other cool part about that is if you have a firm rental agreement and your lender agrees that it is a firm rental agreement, you can actually use that rent as part of your income.
Wow.
So you might be able to qualify for more on that next house. And in the best case scenario, you're getting that mortgage payment covered by your tenant.
Wow. Man, that is it's a great way to invest.
I love it. So we're going to look in the area that you want. And I'm also going to run rental comps in that area for you. Okay. Just so you have a good idea of what's available for rental. And of course, we're talking years in the future. Right. But you're talking about Denton. And you have
College Town.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
My first property was actually in Denton.
Wow. Okay.
On Scripture Street.
Heck yeah.
I wish I still owned it, but I don't.
Oh man.
But I loved it, and it was perfect, and that's kind of what we did. So after I left it, we rented it out.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it was just a nice little nest egg, which I would encourage. Okay, so we kind of understand what you're looking for. We understand your time frame. So let's talk about the process. So the typical home buyer this year is looking for about 8 weeks, and they see about 8 properties.
Okay.
So based on your timeline, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up on the MLS with a search.
Okay.
And we're going to make this search net wide because we want you to see as many things as possible. So minimum 2-bed, 1.5 bath, because that will give you
Right. Absolutely.
Now, the goal, of course, is 2 full baths, but we want to see what's out there.
Yes.
And we want to see what style you're attracted to. So off the bat, since you've lived there and you kind of know what's available, what does your dream style look like?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm the worst. Let's see. I think I don't even know how to answer that. What would like,
That's fair.
okay, would like, are we talking like farmhouse styles and stuff like that? Is that what you mean?
I'm more
What do you
talking
mean?
about style as related to maintenance, which a lot of people don't consider.
I don't know what that means.
Yes. So a home that has a brick exterior is going to be a little bit easier to care for than a home that has siding. And because Denton has a lot of both, especially some of those older homes that have so much charm and character, they do have a little bit more upkeep required. And I want you to be able to factor that upkeep into your budget.
Okay.
So siding is beautiful.
Right.
You're going to have to paint that house at some point.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know?
This makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And you might have a garage, but you might not have a garage door opener.
Okay. Okay.
You also might have a garage that is not attached to the house.
Okay. I see now.
So we kind of want to look at all of those options.
Yeah.
And for the first couple weeks, you're going to get new properties and options every single day.
Okay.
And you're going to, there's a heart button. And then there's a light bulb button.
It's like, it's like the clothing ones where they like pick out your style. So that's like what we're doing for a house. Got it.
Because that is going to help me focus in. So at the beginning, we want to have a wide net, and then we want to narrow down what you're looking for, because we do not want to spend, typically I will only want to show you 5 houses in one day, because after that, they run together, you get confused, it's still competitive, so you're going to have to make a quick decision. So that's roundabout what I like to look at. Now, there are some times where that changes. So if we're looking at townhomes or condos, even, as long as they have outdoor space, we might, if there's 2 that are listed in the same place, we might want to look at both, because they're probably going to be cared for differently. They're going to have a different finish out, and we're going to see what you like better, and then we're going to compare pricing.
Okay, gotcha.
So as we move along, our net narrows, and you learn what you're more attracted to. So you're going to be like, Jennah, I only want brick. Or I love the siding and the charm. Now, how handy are you?
I'm really good. I can watch a YouTube video. Okay. But that's about the I have a hammer.
Okay,
that's about the extent.
Excellent.
I have told my parents. No.
You need a drill.
I told my parents, I was like, I'm moving hopefully in December. Can you get me some tools for Christmas? That's the goal, is let's get some tools for Christmas.
So the best way to put equity into a home, especially a home that has been loved on previously, is to know the difference between a major reno project and a little reno project.
Yeah.
So a really ugly house might only be ugly because of the paint.
Oh.
And I bet you can paint.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Yes. So it might not show well, which means it might sit on the market longer, which means you might be able to get a better price on it because of those things.
Nice.
Now, I don't see you refinishing hardwood floors.
No, probably not.
Okay, so me either.
Fair.
So that's,
I wish I could do these
I had
things.
that skill set.
Yeah.
I have people that could help you do that, but that's money.
Right, exactly.
So we're going to be really careful with the projects that we look at, but we're also going to be really excited if we see some like ugly paint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We can do laminate. I know I can.
Yes.
I know laminate is a thing that is in my family's repertoire.
Yes. Yes. You can absolutely.
Right.
And we call it luxury vinyl now.
Oh, that's right. My bad. That's right.
Sounds a little bougier. Same price.
Much better, though.
Really great for pets. So this is all good. So we're going to kind of narrow in, and you'll know typically within about 8 seconds of walking in a home if you want to live there or not.
Gotcha.
Now, one of the things that I cannot talk about that is illegal, well, there's 2. I cannot talk about school districts.
Oh.
You don't have kids.
Okay. No, I don't.
But if you did, I guarantee you would ask me that question.
Right.
And I would send you to www.greatschools.org. That will be in the show notes. That is where you want to look for school districts, because although I'm not allowed to speak about them really, they do affect your property value.
Absolutely.
So I would encourage you to check that out.
Okay.
And then I also cannot really talk about safety.
Oh, okay.
So I would suggest going to Trulia
Okay.
and just looking at their crime maps.
Gotcha.
And that's just a good resource, and you can make your own decision.
Mm-hmm.
And that is also, because the whole point is to narrow down,
Yes.
because we really only want to write 1 or 2 offers.
Right.
Because we want you to not be excited and have heartbreak repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to really narrow in on these things. And you want to think about those, but I can't tell you. I don't know.
That's
I don't
fair.
know.
Totally fair.
So very good going in, knowing what you can ask me and what you can't.
Yes.
And I will tell you if I am not allowed to answer.
Gotcha. I never knew that there were things you couldn't answer.
No, there's a lot of legality involved in this,
That
even
makes
though I am
sense.
not a lawyer.
Got it.
Not a lawyer.
That's why I can't ask you about crime things or
Yes,
anything
I
like
don't
that.
know. I don't know. Do your research.
Got it.
Phone a friend.
That's fair. Fair. You can
Yes.
offer resources.
Yes,
that's
all
awesome.
the time, all day. So that's kind of where we want to focus. So the next piece is kind of ask you what questions you have and then what your fears are around the process.
Ooh, okay.
That way I can kind of help clarify and hopefully ease those.
Okay. Yeah, I think my biggest question is just like, is this something I'm going to be able to do on my budget? I think is like a big one, which I don't know if we want to talk about budget with everybody, but that's like the biggest question I think I have is like, is this a good time for me to do this? And am I going to be able to do it?
So I have seen your budget. Nobody else needs to know your budget, but I've seen your budget. And this is where I think your location is really helpful because homes in this area, okay, we saw a 25% increase in value this past year.
Yeah.
That is probably not going to happen again.
That's good. That's exciting.
Yes. However, traditionally in Texas, we're about 4 to 5% year over year. So the earlier you can get in,
Gotcha.
the more value you're going to get, even if you get into something that needs some love,
Okay.
but it's livable. I would suggest that you would get in that and fix it up over time and be very specific about location because that is another huge influence. So if you are walkable to one of these colleges or even they are on either one of their bus lines,
Gotcha.
these are going to be things that are going to insulate your property. And as long as you take care of it, the sooner the better.
Gotcha.
So a lot of my first-time home buyers are getting grant money or family money.
Gotcha.
So you do not have to do either, but I bet you qualify if the Fed has been allowing and closing off the grant money
Okay.
a lot this year. So I've had some first-time home buyers have their entire down payments covered.
Oh, okay.
And that's free money. Now, your rate is going to be a little bit higher,
Right.
but that absolutely cancels. I mean, it does take the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Take
we're
it and
gonna,
run.
Yes. So we're going to keep a close eye on that because
Okay.
that's even if you put 0% down, you don't have to.
Gotcha.
And if you can get grant money and you qualify for that, that's something we really want you to be able to do.
Gotcha.
Because the U.S. traditionally, I mean, what is the American dream?
To have your own, buy your own home, have a
Yes.
good job, and just live your life.
Absolutely. So they want to encourage homeownership. And that's why these programs are available. So we really want you to take advantage of them. And if the program is open and you are qualified for it, we're going to lock your rate and get that pre-qual. And then
Gotcha.
we're going to find you something immediately.
Awesome.
Because that makes a huge difference to your payment. You might be able to afford more because that payment is covered.
Gotcha.
So we kind of want to look at all of that. And then the other thing I'm seeing a lot of people do, which makes me slightly nervous, but I have seen it work. You can have more than one person on a title and a loan.
Oh, okay.
So say you have a best friend and that best friend is in the same position. Maybe you want to go in on something together. I'm seeing this a lot more than I ever have.
Wow.
Just because of, traditionally 30 years ago, first, homes were far less expensive.
Right.
Second, people got married earlier.
Right.
So, so I know how it was buying a house as a single lady. It's
Yeah.
like, whew, okay,
Yeah.
we're big girls now.
We can do it.
Yes, we could, and you can.
Right.
But that's something to explore if you do have, always something to look at.
Yeah.
Even if they don't help you purchase and they can come and be a roommate, and I tell you what the rent is, that is probably going to make you feel a lot better if you're qualified by yourself, but you have someone who might potentially be able to help you with bills.
Yeah.
Bills are the next thing.
Yes.
So we can ask what they are.
Oh, okay.
So if you love a house, but you realize, say the house is built in 48, what is that AC bill? Like, what is your heating bill?
Right.
We want to know those things so you're not just shocked when you move in December.
Right.
And it's cold and you have to use your heat.
Yep.
So these are all things that we want to talk about at this very first meeting. So when you close, what's going to happen is you're going to bring whatever money you need to closing, which will include a down payment if you choose to have one, and your closing costs.
Okay.
Then the lender is going to wire, most likely, the rest of those funds so that they can pay off the initial loan from the seller, and then the seller would take proceeds from that.
Gotcha.
Now you are going to pay your mortgage off. Well, it depends if they sell it.
Gotcha.
They're probably going to sell it.
Okay.
A lot of mortgages get sold. It's not a big deal, but it does change who you write that check to.
Oh, okay.
So if you close, say, December 3rd, your first payment might not be until January or February 1st.
Whoa.
So definitely work with the lender on that because that kind of gives you a little more wiggle room.
Okay.
And you're going to have prepaid things. So you're going to know what you're going to owe, when you're going to owe it, and who you're going to owe it to. So you'll get a little ticket, and it just looks like a ticket in your closing docs. Most likely you will set this up online as well.
Gotcha.
But they will tell you who to pay.
Okay.
So if the lender is keeping your loan in-house, you pay them because they have lent you this money. If they sell your loan to, I don't know, Wells Fargo, Chase, Big Bank, they will let you know, and then that's who you're going to pay off.
Okay. So that's something to pay attention to, like, as time goes on, too.
Yes, you want to know, who am I paying?
Please don't take my house.
Yes, because they will.
Right.
They absolutely
exactly.
will. You have to pay it.
Yes.
So does that help a little bit?
Yes, I think it calms the nerves a little bit for, like, all of the stuff that's just, like, this feels like something I have, like, not tangible stuff that I've never learned before. So, yeah.
So I'm glad you're feeling a little more comfortable. The next step for us would be to go through what's called a buyer representation agreement.
Okay.
And then I will set you up on the MLS, and you're going to start getting emails every day so we can start narrowing down your search.
Okay.
All
nice.
Right. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and Editor Michaela today. I am so excited to help you in this process.
I'm excited.
Good. You should be excited. This is fun.
Yes.
So the next part in our next episode is going to be a little more hairy.
Okay.
So we're going to get into a buyer's representation agreement, what that looks like here in Texas, questions you might want to ask before you sign one of those with your realtor of choice, and why all of this matters to the process. So stay tuned, stick with us, and please like, share, follow, subscribe. Don't forget, you can find me on Instagram or on TikTok, and if you send me questions there, I swear I will read them and I will respond. So don't miss out.